We've talked quite a bit about countries and their capitals. Some cities may have sparked your curiosity, while others might not have left much of an impression. So what do you think makes a capital city truly livable? What essential characteristics define an ideal capital? Now let's turn our attention to Moscow, the capital of the largest country in the world. Russia is an incredibly vast nation, covering around 17 million square kilometers. Looking at the city map, you'll notice that Moscow itself isn't particularly large in area. It spans about 2,511 square kilometers. However, the population is quite dense. Moscow, the most populous city in Russia, is home to approximately 19 million people, while the next largest city, St. Petersburg, has only around 6 million residents. What's astounding is that Moscow has been Russia's capital for over 850 years and continues to manage such a high population density within a relatively compact space. Moscow, considered the heart of this immense country, lies to the east of Belarus and north of Ukraine. Unlike the freezing northern regions affected by Siberia's harsh climate, Moscow is situated in a more temperate and warmer part of Russia, near the western border. While temperatures in some northern areas can drop to -50 degrees Celsius, -58 degrees Fahrenheit, winters in Moscow are slightly milder, around -20 degrees Celsius, -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Still, the winters here are harsh and brutally cold. In this important city, numerous high-rise buildings and skyscrapers have been constructed, along with hundreds of modern architectural structures. If you want to rent a decent quality apartment here, prices start at around 100,000 rubles. For a 3-bedroom apartment, the cost in US dollars would be at least $1,000. If you're thinking about living in Russia, especially in Moscow, where billionaires from all over the world reside, you'll need at least $2,000 per month to cover living expenses. Of course, you might find a place for about 50,000 rubles, but those are usually older apartments from 20 years ago or more, often located far from the city center or very small in size. Roughly half of the world's capital cities are located near coastlines, but Moscow is not. However, it is beautifully accented by the Moscow River, which flows through the heart of the city. This river brings a peaceful atmosphere year-round and is connected by small bridges that enhance the city's transportation links. Red Square, famously known by its English name, sits right in the capital. It's surrounded by cobblestone streets that are immaculately clean, without a speck of litter. This is a favorite destination for tourists visiting Moscow, where they can enjoy memorable moments. The architecture here is like the city's lifeblood, built on a strong and solid foundation. Red Square is so vast that during major events, such as presidential speeches by Putin or national holidays, it can accommodate millions of people. The Kremlin Palace, another world-renowned landmark, is located at the center of the city. It's one of the most iconic symbols of Russia, and nearly every tourist snaps a photo here when visiting Moscow. This palace is also the official residence of President Putin and sits at the administrative heart of the country, where the supreme courts and powerful oligarchs are based. Luxury cars with sirens, carrying government officials, frequently cause traffic jams throughout the city. Interestingly, there are many other Kremlin palaces across Russia, although this one is the most famous. Another iconic symbol of Moscow is St. Basil's Cathedral, standing majestically in Red Square. It is considered one of the city's greatest landmarks. Currently, due to tense diplomatic relations between Russia and the West, there are fewer foreign tourists visiting the country. Western airlines have either reduced or suspended their flights to Russia. Nevertheless, Moscow remains a lively and bustling city all year round, thanks to its large population and abundant resources. One example of this vibrant spirit is the many festivals regularly held in the city. If you're lucky, you might stumble upon one of these fantastic celebrations during your visit. For locals, these festivals may feel routine, but for visitors, they are sure to be an unforgettable experience. Today, while many parts of the world are in the middle of summer, the people of Moscow are also enjoying warm weather, strolling the streets in short sleeves. The city stays vibrant day and night, regardless of its long and complex history. Moscow offers a dynamic and fascinating way of life, where laughter fills the streets and it's rare to see someone walking alone. Some people gather on park benches chatting with friends, Others are having lively conversations at cafes, while some are striking poses for street photographers. The street photography scene in Moscow is truly captivating. In the city center, professional photographers with high-end cameras are ready to capture the beauty of Russian locals. They set up backdrops right in busy areas, creating professional photo setups for those who want a quick photo shoot. But honestly, that's not even necessary, because every corner of Moscow, from parks and rivers to streets and buildings, offers perfect backdrops for stunning photos. Russian people, especially women, genuinely enjoy being photographed. Even when caught off guard, they usually respond with a smile and a pose. It's clear they often have phones in hand, snapping selfies or solo pictures, whether someone else is taking the shot or not. This reveals that they're not just seeking validation from others, but also expressing love and confidence in themselves. Moscow reflects strong Western European architectural influences, where every building feels like a national symbol. This city checks nearly every box for what you'd expect from a livable capital. If you're into dining out, you'll find hundreds of restaurants to choose from. And if you ever get bored of the same parks or nightclubs, don't worry. There are countless other places to explore, especially if you enjoy meeting new people. Moscow is full of fresh faces, and when you observe the locals, the Slavic features are striking. About 80% of the population has fair skin, often with blonde hair and blue or green eyes. Beauty is subjective, of course, but there's no denying the global appeal of the Slavic look. Russians themselves seem to be well aware of this, and it adds to their confidence. They also dress with elegance, not just for evening outings, but even for casual daytime meetups. Russia also offers solid income opportunities to support this vibrant lifestyle in Moscow. To live comfortably here, you'd need a net monthly income of around $4,000 to $5,000. Otherwise, living luxuriously might put a serious strain on your finances. Moscow doesn't just attract adults. It also draws in young people from all over Russia. The city is home to the nation's largest technical universities, where students come to pursue international career opportunities. Moscow has a total of 13 universities, making it a hub for all age groups. Although Russia is a predominantly Orthodox Christian country, religion and government don't interfere with people's dress or lifestyle. Everyone is free to live and dress as they please, without social or political pressure. In Moscow, people don't just dance in clubs. They dance in the streets too, expressing a love of life that rivals Western Europe, full of energy and joy. The city is incredibly dynamic, creating space for young musicians to earn a living. You'll find street performers playing all kinds of instruments on nearly every corner. As you stroll through Moscow, it's rare not to hear beautiful melodies floating through the air. If Moscow feels too expensive, consider moving to Vladimir, a city just east of the capital. Further east lies Kazan, a large and lively city. Or, if you're looking for somewhere less crowded but still developed, St. Petersburg, near the Finnish border in the north, is a perfect choice. In the evening, as the sun sets, Moscow's sidewalks become so packed that it's hard to find an open space. Even without going into a cafe, people gather in parks or along sidewalks with loved ones. A common sight is people pulling up in a car, popping the trunk, and sharing shisha, hookah together. When the parks are too crowded, some choose to enjoy hookah and drinks outdoors, straight from the trunk of their cars. Rather than fancy meals, many prefer to just spend time chatting by the cool, breezy Moscow River. It's also common in the evenings to see Russians making use of public benches for all kinds of activities. One thing that stands out in Moscow is that although the population is quite young, smoking rates are high. There are relatively few people over 65 in the city. Most people you see out and about are under 50. The elderly usually stay out of sight, appearing mainly on the metro, but rarely walking the streets. Speaking of the metro, you can't talk about Moscow without mentioning its subway system, one of the largest and most expansive in the world. The city's public transport network meets every expectation of a grand capital. Metro stations in Moscow and across Russia feature breathtaking architecture. These ultra-stylish designs, inherited from the Soviet era, are some of the most iconic in the country. Every station is both elegant and spotless. The Russian metro system has over 160 stations across 11 lines. Moscow is also known for its luxury cars, especially at night, when you'll see high-end vehicles on nearly every block. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, and a wide range of premium brands are everywhere. There's even a street called Malaya Bronnaya, home to the city's elite. Taxis are plentiful here, and wealthy residents frequently visit areas like Malaya and Petrovka, where the city's most luxurious malls and high-end cars can be found. By nightfall, the streets are packed with vehicles and people on the move. As an international and multicultural city, Moscow lets you overcome language barriers easily. You'll get by just fine with English, even if you don't speak Russian. The city's diverse population also brings with it a wide variety of cuisines, reflecting the rich and colorful food culture Moscow has to offer. The bustling streets of Moscow are also a popular choice for couples tying the knot. Many choose upscale residential areas in the city to host their weddings. So if you happen to see several newlyweds and hundreds of guests gathered by the Moscow River, it's completely normal. Weddings in Moscow are not overly extravagant. Instead, they're often cozy and intimate, celebrated with close family and friends. Despite political tensions, Moscow remains a vibrant and safe city. It seems destined to maintain its place as one of the world's most desirable and captivating capitals. People in Moscow appear to be genuinely content with their lives. You won't see fear or oppression on their faces. Moscow isn't just the heart of Russia, it's where history, culture, and modern life beat together in every street, in every glance. It's a city where the cold can't freeze the joy of living, where beauty doesn't come from extravagance, but from the lively energy found in everyday moments. From its majestic palaces and serene rivers to the winter afternoons filled with street music, Moscow feels like stepping into a living novel, where every street corner tells its own story. Young people come here to dream, the elderly come to reminisce, and travelers come to feel something deeply Russian, authentic, and profound. Perhaps what makes Moscow unforgettable isn't just its dazzling beauty, but the spirit of freedom, quiet pride, and warmth that lingers even in the icy winters. No matter how the world changes, Moscow continues to hold on to its unique character. A city that's cold on the surface, yet charming, proud, and surprisingly welcoming at its core. If you're looking for a city to live in, to feel, or even just to lose yourself in, let Moscow touch your heart. And if you love journeys like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep exploring the world together, one new perspective, one new emotion in every video to come. See you at the next destination.